Welcome students. Today we are going to discuss about the respiratory system of aves. Last time we studied about the respiratory tract, then respiratory organs or lungs. So today we are going to discuss about the air sacs. So in the respiratory tract we studied already about the tracheae, in which this tracheae enters into syrinx, and this syrinx further divides into bronchus. So each bronchus enters in each lungs. So how this bronchus divides into mesobronchus and secondary bronchi? You see in this figure, that is tracheae, it divides into syrinx and further it gives rise to bronchus. So from mesobronchus arise secondary bronchus, some of which divides into parabronchi. But in each lung, 5 secondary bronchi do not divide but pass through walls of the lungs and their mucous membrane dilates into large air sacs. 3 of those secondary bronchi are short and 2 are long. You see here the air sacs. So these air sacs are large, thin-walled, membranous, that means it is made up of membranes, and non-muscular, that means these are not made up of the muscles, and non-vascular structures which do not increase the respiratory surface. If the respiratory surface or the shape increases, then automatically the weight of the bird increases and lie among the muscles, that is the air sacs, and about the viscera in various parts of the body. From the secondary bronchi of air sacs arise small recurrent bronchi. You see here the figure, which connects air sacs with parabronchi and the air capillaries of the lungs. That means the lungs are connected with the air capillaries. Pure air is returned from air sacs into the lungs through incurrent bronchi. In pigeon, there are 5 air sacs. So first one is the interclavicular, second cervical, third anterior thoracic, then fourth posterior thoracic, and last one is the abdominal. So we'll study one by one. So the first air sac is interclavicular sac. You see here in the figure, it is a median, unpaired, somewhat triangular. You see the shape, it looks like a triangular air sac connected to secondary bronchi of both lungs. You see this interclavicular sac connects with the secondary bronchus. From each side of interclavicular air sac arise two tubular axillary air sacs, one of which enters the humerus bone through a pneumatic foramen. Now the second air sac, that is the cervical air sac. These are small cervical air sacs arise anteriorly, one from each lung. They lie at the base of neck, dorsal to the interclavicular sac, and along the sides the ventral column. They give out minor saccule branches to the neck region. Now the third air sac, that is the anterior thoracic air sac. You see this figure. They arise from the side of the lung, which lies at the ventral side of lung, in close contact with the ribs and the pericardium. Its ventral wall remains covered by the oblique septum. Now the fourth air sac, that is the posterior thoracic air sac. These posterior thoracic air sacs are paired, small, found in the posterior part of the thoracic cavity. Each sac overlaps and posterior end of its lung and communicates with its outer posterior angle. Now last air sac, that is called as the abdominal air sac. You see the figure. These arise from distal end of the each lung. Distal means which is located at the backside, and it lies along the dorsal wall of the abdomen, ventral to the kidneys, among the coils of the small intestine. So that is all about the air sacs in pigeon. Now we will see about the functions of air sacs. The air sacs are thin reservoirs of air which communicate with bronchi on the one hand and with the pneumatic cavities of the bones on the other hand. The air sacs are not respiratory organs, but they help in respiration. They act as bellows, forcing their air into the lungs for ventilation at each expiration. To completely renew the air into the lungs. Thus, there is no dead space of unexpired air into the lungs. The anterior air sacs are expiration. You know, the respiration includes the expiration and the inspiration. So these expiratory organs includes the interclavicular, then cervical and anterior thoracic, and they are more active during flight. The posterior air sacs are inspiratory, that means the posterior thoracic and abdominal air cavities or air sacs. They are more active when the bird is not flying. This also acts as balloons, giving buoyancy in the flight. Buoyancy means that balances during the flight. They also help to maintain and regulate body temperature. That means during the flight mode, the temperature of the body increases. So the air sacs help to maintain and regulate the body temperature. And last function, that is, it also allow movement of the heart, which is very rigidly set in thorax. So these are all about the functions of the air sacs.